of the biggest obstacles that amateur players have is the fear of the long irons. There's really no reason to fear the long irons. Everything is built right into the club to allow you to hit it as you would any other club. The length is longer, the loft is less. It means all you have to do is put the same swing on the golf club as you do with any other club. Now, I have a 2-iron in my hands. You might be asking yourself, now what's the proper stance? Now, how are we going to figure that out? Well, as your clubs get longer, your stance tends to get a little wider. Now, the general rule that I'll go by on a stance for a 2-iron is the insides of my arches will be the width of my shoulders. So say my shoulder width is this wide. Now, the inside of my arches is that wide. So now that I have the width of my stance is on the width of my shoulders, the inside of my arches, I have a very standard point that I can go to when I'm out practicing for my long iron. Now, the distance from the ball is a very important factor while hitting your long irons. You don't want to get so far out that you get way up on your toes and lose your balance, or so close to you that you're back on your heels with no place for your arms to swing through your shot. So the distance of your ball is much like if you're going to go to shake hands with somebody. If you shake hands with them, you're going to stick your hand out here with our club out there, shake hands, let our arms just fall down and dangle a little bit. A little tip that my father told me when I was a boy of how to check my ball position, whether I was too far away from it or too close, was when I release the club with my left hand and it falls down, if it hits right above my left knee, then I know that I'm in the correct position. Now, if I'm too far away from the ball, the club will hit down here below my knee. If I was too close to the ball, the club's going to be hitting way up on my thigh. So the tip that I'm giving you is when you release the club with your left hand and it's hitting just above your left knee, then you know you're in the correct position to hit the golf ball. Now, with ball position, everybody might be wondering, the longer the clubs, the farther the ball is going to get forward in your stance. I'm going to call this the middle of my stance. As you can see, the ball is definitely in the forward third of my stance. The reason being that is because with long irons, you want to have a tendency of a sweeping motion when you're hitting the ball. You don't want to feel like you're going to be hitting down through the ball. You want to feel like you're going to sweep it off the ground, allowing your body and head to stay behind the ball as the club swings past. Now we're going to talk about the correct posture. What is the correct posture for long irons? Very similar if you're going to go shake hands with somebody. You go to shake hands with somebody, you're just going to stick your arm out there and shake hands with them. It's just like shaking hands with your golf club. Then let your arms fall down. That brings your waist down over the ball. You don't want to be out too much up on your toes or back too far on your heels because you'll lose your balance. So the idea is we're shaking hands. We've got a gradual bend from our waist. We've got our butt tucked out a little bit. We've got a slight bend in our knees. We don't want too much bend because this will restrict our turn, or if we were stiff-legged, this will throw off all our movement in our lower body. Now, I believe the takeaway is set up through the left shoulder and left arm. We don't want to take the club away with our hands. We don't want to take it away with our right side. We want to take the club and push it away with our left shoulder and left arm. With long irons, we want to take the club away low and slow, like 4 to 6 inches away from the ball. We're going to push the club away low and slow. Now, this is going to enable us to turn in, get our shoulder underneath our chin. Now we're back here and we're coiled and we're ready to hit the shot. From here, you can make a downward move with your arms, allowing you to come through the ball, transferring your weight over to your left side. Now you can take a step toward your target. Now, how many times will you set up and take a swing where you reverse pivot? Now, this is the worst thing that amateurs or professionals can do. When you do this, you're not in the correct hitting position. You're back on you've got all your weight here on your left side. The only place you can go from here, unless to fall down and hit the shot, is fall back away from it. You're not going to be able to generate any club head speed or the ball's not going to go on your intended line of where you want it to go. So when we see this, we know that we're not transferring our weight properly. The proper weight shift is to go from the right side to the left side, allowing us, with our arm movement, pulling our weight over to our left side. Now we can take a step toward our target. Now, a little tip for you to find out where your backswing should go to: put your arms straight out away from you and turn your left shoulder under your chin. All right? Now you've turned away. Now obviously here you've turned your weight onto your right side. Now bend over and you're in the correct hitting position to hit that ball. Now we take a step right toward our target. You've made the perfect golf swing. Now that we've made this perfect shot and hit the ball straight, which is the easiest thing to do in golf, we're going to learn how to hook and fade the ball. That's curving the ball from right to left and left to right. It's done with the same swing, just altering our stance a little bit. Now we've got our stance for our straight ball. Now we're going to draw the ball. To do that, we're going to drop our right foot back a little bit. That's going to be closing off our stance. This is going to enable us to bring the club back on the inside. Once we get up at the top, we'll be hitting from the inside, coming across and turning the club head over, promoting a right to left drawing spin on the ball. So we're going to push the club away with our left shoulder again on the inside and drawing the ball right into our target area. Now that we've learned how to hook the ball, we're going to slice the ball by doing just the opposite. We're going to open our stance up. By opening, I mean drop the left foot back. It's going to put the right foot forward. Now we're going to push the club straight back, which will basically be, you'll feel like you're taking the club away from you on the outside. But you're still going to be pushing the club straight back, and you're going to come through and cut across the ball, promoting a left to right slicing action. So we've dropped our left foot back, opened our shoulders and our hips to the target. Now we're going to take the same swing that we've been learning about, cut across the ball, and cut the ball back to our target line. Now we're going to learn how to hit the ball high and low. We do that by our ball position in our stance. Now with the ball position, we've gone for our basic shot. For now we want to hit the ball high. In order to do that, we want to move the ball even more forward in our stance. So we're going to move the ball more forward into our stance. Now it is almost off our left toe. Now once we've got the ball in position, this is going to enable us to be able to stay behind the ball a lot longer with our head and body, allowing us to hit the ball a lot higher. So once we've moved the ball up in our stance, we're going to push the club away, stay behind the ball, and hit it nice and high. Now that we've learned how to hit the ball high, we're going to hit the ball low. And to do that, we're going to do just the opposite of what we did for hitting the ball high, which we moved the ball forward in our stance. Now we're going to take the ball and move it back in our stance to enable us to keep the club, after we hit the ball, low and down our line as far as possible. So we've set up, we've moved the ball from standard to back in our stance. We're going to take the same basic swing and hit the ball low right at our target. I want you all to remember that it's the same swing for our hooks, for our fades, for our highs and our lows. It's merely a difference of changing the ball position and our stance, but it's the same golf swing. The ball. Then once I get set at the top, it's just I uncoil back towards the ball, allowing my arms to pass my body, finishing over on my left side with everything pointed at the target, and I know I've hit a good golf shot.